back to Q&A with S&A. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Shane.
And today we have some really special guests in our studio. Our favourite kitchen queens, Jane and Maddie. Thank you so much for joining us. You're not only the kitchen queens to us, you've been around for a long time with Ancient Group. You're actually probably two of our most VIP people. You make amazing food, but aside from that, you're actually just really great people. So thank you for coming in and sharing the studio with us today. We'll ask you some questions about what you're both doing now, because that's super exciting, but we'll talk a bit more about our long-standing relationship. And I think you've been a client, Jane, since Maddie was a tiny girl. So yes, we can talk about that. Maybe we'll get some photos out of when Maddie was little and talk about that. So we have known Jane for a lot of years, and hence Maddie for a lot of years, and you guys have done some really exciting things independently, but together as well. And we've talked a lot, Jane, you and I, about the fact that being able to have your family come along with you on your business journey. What has it meant to you to have Maddie come into your daily work sort of life?
Oh wow. Well, I think, yes, as you said, thanks, Andrea and Shane, for having us. I think for me, I am such a family person, and I'm one of five. And my mother was amazing. I miss her every day. And she was such a supportive, lovely mum and a great role model. And I think that it's just a natural thing for me to want my daughter around.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I never realised, I think, probably how much it means to me to have her involved from a business perspective. We're close socially. We love similar things, shopping, food, restaurants, all those sorts of things. Yeah. But to have her in a business sense involved on a day-to-day is icing on the cake.
Yeah.
It's about, I don't want to sound ridiculous, but it's about as good as it can get, because we rarely, don't get me wrong, you would have seen on when we were together on that show, we do lock heads every now and then. She has a very strong way about her, but so do I.
Yeah.
And so I find myself, I think, working with Maddie, it's about letting her shine. And I've had my time in that sort of scenario where I've been able to work and shine and do, good things. So I my role, I feel, with her is to watch on, support, and just be collaborative and work together. So it's every day there's something different. So I really just love that it's very special.
Yeah.
It's not like any other relationship. I've had a million staff over the years, but to have your daughter by your side, it's pretty special.
Yeah, yeah. Maddie, what's it like working with Mum?
No, I feel really blessed to be able to work with Mum, because I think you can have a strong relationship, but to be able to work together, it tests you in a different way.
Yeah.
And I think, as Mum said as well, I just think we have a good balance. So I think we work together well, and I think I appreciate that Mum lets me take the reins at times in the kitchen, and maybe it doesn't feel so normal, maybe. But, I think we already, previously to working together, we would speak every day. So I think the next step in working together has actually felt very seamless. And I think, we've done it really well together. I feel very lucky to have Mum, actually, because I think starting out a business can be really daunting if you're doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Not that you don't know what you're doing, but to be able to have somebody to lean on to ask those questions, or particularly Mum, who's been in business for a long time, it gives you a boost of confidence, and it just makes everything feel a little bit easier.
Yeah. A built-in mentor to always be able to bounce an idea off.
Exactly.
And at silly times of the day or night as well. Like, you don't have to necessarily wait from 9 to 5. Because you can send a quick text to each other and say, hey, what about this?
Or what do you think about this?
Yeah. I mean, you guys know that we're obviously a family business as well, and to us it's really important that, we do that, and we continue to employ the children of family members and different various people that come along, and our team will bring their their kids into the business as well, and give them opportunities and the ability to work in a safe space. I think for the two of you, has that been really important to be able to be in a safe space together as you move through? And we'll talk a little bit about the TV show, keeping each other safe in those situations.
Yeah, I think so, Andrea. As I said before, going back to being with your daughter or anyone in your family, it's pretty special. And that that you can, I reflect on over the years having conversations with staff about different, issues about, poor performance or whatever it is, to be able to have that I can say to Maddie, obviously I bite my lip because she can be quite tough on me coming back. But I do feel like I can say to her, hey, we need to be doing things this way, and I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
She will still say to me, oh, what are you talking about? But it doesn't matter. It's okay because it's just there.
Yeah, being family, I think you can say those things to each other, and the next day you wake up and you've forgotten about it. Whereas I think I've seen friends with business partners, and you kind of have to tread a little bit more carefully. Yes. Whereas I feel like Mum and I think being in business together has actually helped that you don't take things to heart as much, or you're able to move. If you have a disagreement about something, then you're able to move on it from it quickly, or quicker, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think that's also the fact that you've found something that you're both very passionate about, and so you will have your own thoughts and opinions on how things should be done. So that so the family dynamic can be interesting in that respect, because yes, you can clash, maybe even a bit more than what, as you said, because you're not tiptoeing.
Yes.
But the family connection then hopefully, and most part means you get through that and you can then come to the right conclusion at the end of it.
100%.
Yes, yeah.
100%.
How many dinner parties did the two of you host together before you decided to do something quite wild and crazy, like put yourselves on TV?
I think that growing up, Madeline's always been used to me. I'm a big entertainer, and I talk about this a lot actually. I'd like to, eventually with the business evolving, to do something surrounding and focusing on people having dinner parties. Because a lot of people don't entertain at home anymore. They find it too daunting and too hard. And of course, I get the whole, I can't have you for dinner because, I'd be embarrassed, which is ridiculous. I don't care if someone serves me a Vegemite toast, just to think they care enough to do something for you. But growing up, Maddie was always around food, and she would help and be in the kitchen. And I encourage that with both my kids, that they'd help cook cakes or they'd help serve dinner. And so I think the cooking part, it's a natural progression. And as a young adult, having family functions and so forth, and being the matriarch of the family. Now my mum's gone because I've got 4 brothers and they're all hopeless. And I'm always the one getting everyone together and come over and I will cook. And Madeline's always been by my side through those sort of moments. And the fact that, she loves food and she's interested as well. So we've done a lot of things together beforehand. And the dinner party thing is something that I felt confident. Madeline knows her food. She's so funny. She said to me the other day, we had a taste of something, and I said to her, I feel like it's a bit, she goes, oh my God, we have the same taste buds. It's like we're so similar in that regard, that what we like, what we don't like, putting this in, and obviously a lot of our recipes we make up. So we both have to enjoy them and agree and like them. So, we've Maddie's always been around food, and I think that that's her, definitely where she shines.
And I think the thing is, like, people forget, it doesn't have to be something, if you're having a dinner party, it doesn't have to be something that's really over the top or complicated, You can just hero really beautiful produce and cook something that is simple and just tastes delicious. And I think, being on the show, people are like, oh, as if you have dinner parties all the time, or as if you can afford to have people over for dinner all the time. But it's like, we all go out for dinner. We all spend money going out for dinner. So it's actually a much more cost-effective way as well to have people. And it's nice having people in your own home as well.
Yeah, exactly. What made you make the decision to go on the show?
That's an easy question to answer. So my mum, as I've told you, we were very, very close. And when my dad was passing of pancreatic cancer, we're talking 12 years ago and more, 13 years ago. And when we'd go and see him in hospital and we'd come back and bring her back to my place and she'd say, is MKR on? Mm-hmm. And so she loved the show from the get-go. So it would be something that we would do, and I'd sit her down in front of MKR and go cook dinner, give her a glass of wine. Yeah. And then even when Dad was gone and she'd come and stay at my place a lot, she'd say, oh, it's MKR a lot. So we watched MKR a lot together. Yeah. It was because we love food.
Yeah.
And Mum was an amazing cook. She did cooking courses and she was a great entertainer as well. Mm-hmm. And so when she left the world, I just always had in my mind, I really think Maddie and I could do that show. I really think that we could do that. So what happened, we applied and we got on. So that's really what it was about. I didn't think about all the other stuff that went along with the show. But I just thought, oh, what a fun thing to do with my daughter. That's what my thought was. And we love cooking, no brainer. We've seen, what people make and so forth. And so, we applied and got in. So that was, the start of something that probably both didn't really expect to know. We didn't know. Yeah. You have an idea in life, I think, of how things will be, but the actual fact of when you're there is completely different to what you imagine it to be. Yeah.
Maddie, how did it impact on you? What were without going into a huge amount of detail, because I know I've spoken to Mum about things and how, maybe you wouldn't do it again if you could think about it and sit down, but that's okay. Maybe you would, because it was a super fun thing and you've both got a lot out of it in terms of what's happened afterwards. How did you feel being like in the spotlight like that?
I think the positives, firstly, were just being able to have that time with Mum was really special. And, it is a thing it's an experience that we'll always remember that we shared together, and the memories that we had. There were lots of ups and downs, but I think we'll always remember that experience together as something that just we enjoyed that time together. Yeah. And I think it really made me, before being on the show, for me, cooking was just, a hobby. And I think that really made me realise that I have a true passion for cooking and that could become a business. So that was a really positive, I guess, takeaway from the show. I think in our life, we're really blessed because we surround ourselves with like-minded people. And I think going on the show, it was really challenging because, there's so many different personalities, different people who have different life experiences, and you're forced to sit at the dinner table with them every night and to talk to them. And, you might not like something somebody says, but you can't walk away. You're forced to stay there. Yeah. And you might have conflict one night and then you're back at the dinner table the next. That was quite challenging, and particularly for Mum, just dealing with some, how do we put it, some certain types of personalities that, usually if someone spoke to you in that way, you would just, you wouldn't really have anything to do with them. But I think that was just part of being on the show.
In a bubble.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
And it's a competition too.
Yeah, it's a competition. And you're tired and it's late nights and you're traveling.
You've moved around a lot. It's not, you're not in your own bed. So things are, the feelings are exacerbated, right?
Yeah. I think, as Mum said, before going on the show, you think, oh, I love to cook, this will be fine, and then you get in there and you think, okay, this is a little bit harder than I maybe initially thought.
When you started to watch the show with Mum, Jane, all those years ago, probably a different society that we lived in as well. Like, social media has become a really big part of people's lives. And I remember Mum reflecting to me, Maddie, about the fact that, the social media comments and things like that were really hard to manage. And we had a visitor from someone else who's in public life in our office last week. And she said when she talks to her friends and colleagues, it's always do not read the comments. And I think that the two of you would probably agree with that, right? Don't read the comments on social media because it can be really rough and nasty.
I would say to Mum, stop reading them. I can't help it. I'm just gonna have one little look.
Well, I think for me it was like Andrea. I'd be walking through the park with the dogs in the morning and people ring me and they go, are you all right? Are you all right? And I go, yeah, why? Oh, nothing. Oh, I'm thinking, So then I realised, because, you know, we were specifically told by Channel 7 not to read any of the comments.
Yeah.
They actually said, stay
away,
Look, the thing is, though, is that, like, you know, I'm always be true to yourself, and I feel like you can't live in a fool's paradise, right?
Yeah.
You know, you need to sort of put your head up and just, you know, obviously we got it, you know, beaten down a lot. But, you know, you need to have some perspective in terms of, I'm just not going to, you know, take any notice. I'm not going to read any of that. Taking notice of it and looking at it are two different things.
Yeah.
So, you know, there were times when I did probably delve in a bit too far. As my husband said to me, he said, it's like you're going down a rabbit warren and you keep on going and you keep on going, and it's like one comment leads to another. But I think the thing for me was, with all the commentary, was, look, it was really horrific at times.
Yeah.
One day I was in the corner of basically in the corner of that house in a ball and crying, and my husband got home and he went, what's going on? And something pretty significant had happened, like, you know, you just don't expect, like, we see the good in people.
Yeah.
And I feel like human nature can be so, I was shocked. I was shocked at the nastiness of people who don't even know you.
Yeah.
And I don't need to share the comments, but if you can think of the worst words that you can call human being, we would call those names, right? And for me, I was shocked and sad, because I thought, I have such a blessed life. I'm a happy person. I have beautiful family and people around me who I completely adore. I'm so lucky. What is I felt sad for these people who have lives that they go online and bash up people they've never even met. I wish it shocked me, actually. So I think that was the biggest thing for me about reading the comments, is that I was disappointed in humanity, society, that we could possibly be so horrible to people. I mean, you might think an awful thing about someone on television. Are you really then going to let them know what you think of them? You've never even... It just... I still to this day cannot even... I'd like to... Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I just don't.
Especially if some people that you don't know, like, people comment. They think that they know you, but they see one snippet of... You know, they're seeing... a small, even just a part of you, but also it's just a small, it's a show. It's chopped.
Completely.
They film like 50 hours. They film about 50 hours, and it's chopped into what an hour episode.
Those little snippets of what things that you might say or that they hear on your mic, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Jane said this or something.
100%.
It's not in context ever, is it?
No, not at all. And I think it's really important for people to understand, if they are going to do any reality show, is just put your hard hat on, and also know that, to be honest, like, Channel 7 were implicit in inciting people. Like, they put up nasty things. Yeah. And because they went off the theory, it's better be talked about than not be talked about at all, right? They need their ratings.
Yeah. So it's all about ratings. They
don't care what people say about you.
Conflict
they just say, don't have a look. That's it. And you think that people, they're going to care and they're going to look after you after the show. It's like, nah, see you later. Goodbye. Have fun. You know, have a good life. It's like... Anyway, look, I'm not... You know, I'm fine with it now, but I guess I'm annoyed at myself that I wasn't smart enough to think that would happen. You know?
I don't think that's don't be hard on yourself with that, Jane. I think, you know, you're not the only one who goes into a situation like that thinking the best of people. Like, I can't imagine putting yourself out there in such a public forum and thinking that the people who are bringing you into that forum aren't going to be supportive of you. And, you know, that's not the experience that you had. And hopefully, you know, eventually someone realises that, you know, we can't do that to people. We can't put them in situations where they're going to be you know, have awful, nasty comments made about them.
That's the joys of social media.
Of course it is.
Those people behind a keyboard, faceless people.
I think I've just learned that if you are in a position that you're going to put yourself out there, unfortunately, in this day and age, that you've just got to kind of deal with what's going to come.
Correct.
Because you also can't, you can't expect to put anything online and not have someone comment their opinion about it. That's
Absolutely.
just how it is.
Yeah. It's crazy. As you said, Jane, you know, the fact that people feel the need to comment in a negative way on somebody else's social media post is...
And the way they do it.
That's a real, you know, blight on society, isn't it? That, you know, if you don't like it, just scroll past. 100%. You know, you don't have to actually say something.
Oh, you know, the number of comments that said, "Oh, poor Maddie having a mother like me." Oh. I had to laugh at that one, really. Like, you know, the poor thing, you know. I'm so awful to her.
I'm okay.
I love the social media that goes on from the two of you now. I love Kitchen Queens and what you're doing with the business in that respect. I love the fact that you go to the market and you're posting local traders and things like that, because that's actually what it's about, isn't it, really? As you said, Maddie, having people come to dinner doesn't need to be a big hullabaloo. You can actually do things really beautifully. And I know you guys go to the Paran market and you've got some favourites there. And for the people listening and watching today, we'll share all of Jane and Maddie's social media so that everyone's got access to the things that you guys do. The traders at the Paran market are brilliant, and their produce is amazing. Your favourite things to cook when you have like a simple after-work dinner?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. There's so many. I feel like heroing any beautiful like protein and like veg, I feel like you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
We always love like a really good roast chicken with lots of vegetables and roast potatoes. I think that comes from maybe my childhood too. It's a bit nostalgic. Mum always made that for us growing up. So I really love that. But even like any beautiful salmon dish with Asian flavours. We love eye fillet. We love all things like that. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, it's not anything that's necessarily, you know, super complicated.
Yeah.
We get home, we're busy. So Mum's the same, and you want to whip something up in, 20 minutes. So I think if you can. But half an hour. And I think you just have to have an idea of what you're going to cook that night, and then you're halfway there. I think half the problem for people is thinking, oh, what am I going to have for dinner?
Working out what to do.
What am I going to have tonight? Oh, I had that last night. Once you know, then I think that's the hardest part. If we're there, you've got to just get the ingredients and then you're good to go. Actually making it isn't the hard part.
It's so funny, we can cook all day, and then I'll be home or wherever we are, and then Maddie will say, she'll ring me or text me, what do you have for dinner tonight? I've just been cooking today, and we still try, because for me and my family when I was growing up, meal for 7 of us on the table was a big deal for my mother. Every night, as much as possible, we would sit up and she'd think, what am I going to do for dinner? And back in those days, growing up in the 70s and 80s, in terms of what she could get, she'd go down to the butcher, and whatever was in her budget, she will get, and so she'd have to make do with whatever it would be. So. I don't know whether your listeners would ever remember beef olives, where there was some, the bit of steak, pounded down, and inside rolled it up with some breadcrumbs and herbs and things. But we all just enjoyed all different tastes and flavours. But the other thing too is that, that's why I'd have on my own little page as well on my Insta, is just showcasing ingredients like that at Pino's at Paran Market. He does a box of vegetables for $35 on a weekend. And I swear, if a family of 4 had that box, they would make it last a week. And you could make so many different things from it. So I just did a post the other day about the tomatoes he does, and just did those sorts of things. But, you're only limited by your own imagination. And then my favourite go-to meal when Innes isn't home is just I steam some rice, get a can of tuna, chop up some celery, chop up some herbs, squeeze some lemon, sit down. That is my heaven dinner, go-to dinner. And it's just not hard.
Yeah, exactly. Simple things to make.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think we do often overcomplicate things as, when you're trying to think of meal plans and stuff like that. I was actually talking to Emily, our daughter, about it the other day. She lives away from home and and is a uni student, so she's, often with just a cheap throw together meal. And she said, it's so hard having to think of what you want to eat every single day, Mum. Like, what is that about? And I said, well, that's life. You've got to feed yourself. But we do overcomplicate what we're doing, and it's really simple to just go and get a box of veggies and, make a few different dishes out of it. Whose idea is the seafood lasagna? Which one of you came up with the seafood lasagna that you did at Easter time?
Well, I've made
it a
that
collaboration?
Lots of times before.
That's it. Tell everybody about the seafood lasagna.
It was pretty good, wasn't it?
It was amazing.
Really
it was such a special Easter dish. For the team at home listening, Maddie and Jane did a special Easter drop off to people who bought their seafood lasagna, and it was absolutely incredible. Everybody who ate it in our home, we took it down to the beach with my mum, and I think there were maybe 8 of us at the table, and everybody was like, "This is amazing. Can you make it again?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, I can definitely make it again."
We loved doing that because we were trying to think of something Eastery, and obviously the
seafood,
and something that we could pre-make that would last as well. Because a lot of the times, we do think of that. So even when we're doing functions, so we've got something on Friday and it has to be transported there and still taste lovely. Yeah. So Madeline's actually really good at thinking about how to sort of do things ahead that are still good when you have them. And a lasagna is a perfect. And Madeline makes the most incredible shepherd's pie as well.
Okay.
And that is the same sort of, and she's come up with the most amazing recipe, but that's the same sort of thing. You make it beforehand. It tastes even better later, same as a seafood lasagna.
Yeah. It's that is one of the hardest parts about, being a mum and having family. And we've done episodes on this podcast before about the mental load of having to be a mum. Maddie's about to become a mum. So even though she's got a little while yet before she has to start coming up with actual meals every night, I'm sure you'll have it much easier than some because you have ideas about what to cook for every night. Do you guys meal plan?
We don't really, to be honest. Like I have in the past, and I think if you are trying to be organised for the week and you're time poor, I think meal prepping or meal planning is really great. I remember when I was younger, though, we had. I think you know what I'm going to say. But we had family friends, and they would plan every single.
Exactly.
They planned every meal that they were having for the whole week ahead of the week, and I would say to Mum, "But how do they know if they feel like they're going to feel like that on that night? Like, what if they don't want that?" Mum, you would agree with me.
100%.
That's that. I think if you've got the time and you've got a little bit of. Flexibility or a window to shop that day, then being able to decide that day is always my preference because, you don't know maybe what you've had the night before. You might be out for dinner or out over the weekend. So being able to decide that day based on what you feel like, I feel like it is maybe a little bit of a luxury, but it's nice as well. With kids, young kids too, you probably have to prep and plan a little bit more for the week. Or just even have things that maybe you've done the week before and you can pop in the freezer. Or even I love to do is if you've been to the market on the weekend, if you can chop up some of your veggies so they're in the fridge, have things washed. Like that makes it a lot easier because you're not coming home and having to start everything from scratch. So having some staples in the fridge, like a really nice broth or even just like some soups you can go to or things like I like to make, like Mum said, shepherd's pies, things in the fridge or the freezer that you can sort of go to or have some bits prepped makes it a lot easier.
Kitchen Queens, what is your favourite thing about being able to cook for other people, and what are the things that you guys are doing at the moment? I know you post a bit on your socials about the different catering sort of things that you do. What does it look like for you on a daily and weekly basis now?
I think a few things. I think if we talk about what we enjoy most about the job. being able to cook for people, I mean, something that seems simple to us, but see the joy that brings for other people. And it might be, you know, whether it's just saving them time or, you know, I had a client the other day that messaged me just saying how much she appreciated and loved the food and said, oh, I'd love if you could teach me how to make this. She enjoyed it so much because to her, cooking is a bit foreign and, you know, not something that she probably spends much time doing. So being able to help people in that way and give them a little bit of joy through food is, it gives us a lot of, I guess, job satisfaction. Yeah. And I think seeing how food brings people together is always really nice as well, whether we're doing a dinner party or a birthday or a hen's lunch or whatever it might be. The way that food actually brings people together and gets people, you know, in each other's company is really nice as well.
Yeah. What about you, Jane?
Yeah, I think that's exactly, I mean, obviously the business is it's a baby at the moment and, excuse the pun, and we do have some ideas about growth down the future. We want to do some merchandise.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love an apron, so I want to do an apron series and get into those sorts of things.
Yeah.
To see the joy that Madeline gets from doing the bigger functions, we actually love that. When I say bigger, you know, Maddie's doing there's a lunch next weekend for 40 people.
Okay.
And they're the things that we really love doing.
Yeah.
I mean, doing the midweek meals is fine, but it's excuse me, it's more that those bigger sort of functions that you get a kick out of because there's more people. We're social. There's more people you're there talking to, helping. You can see the vision of putting things on a table and what it all looks like because particularly Madeline has a bit of a skill with that, with the beautiful tablecloth and the candelabras and stuff that goes along with that. So. And we're having Maddie's baby shower on the weekend. So
cooking for your own baby shower.
There's a bit of pressure on making sure that all visually looks good. Yeah. So we love that. And I think that the other thing is too with the business, it's just, as Maddie said, the joy of knowing that, look, not everybody does know how to cook and a lot of people don't like cooking. Yeah. And so we're filling a need and a void there for people and we all need to eat every day. Yeah. So from the business perspective, as I said, we've got some ideas that we really want to grow down the track that's more than just the cooking and doing some things like doing meal people subscribing to some meal plans and those sorts of things. I think that's all the stuff that's coming down the track. Yeah. But at the moment, to be honest, I'm really, other than we've got some really lovely events coming up, but this baby has to be the number one priority at the moment. Because, it's pretty special and it's not far away. Yeah. So, we'll keep on doing the little events and so forth until... You know, we can't. And the other thing I have to tell you about, London, if you cross at me, she's like a mini me when I was in business. She's a little bit, everything has to be perfect. And also, Mum, I'm not sure whether you can, really do it. You sure you can do that without her? She likes being involved. Yeah. So I think that with the baby coming on, there'll be a little hiatus, whether it's 2 weeks or 4 weeks. But I'll definitely be stepping in, but I'll be under the supervision of my daughter.
I think that sounds like the perfect way to do it, to be honest. I think the fact that the two of you obviously love working with each other, it's going to mean that little bub is not in the way at all. It's just going to be in a little pouch somewhere and I can just see Maddie chopping and whatever it is, doing whatever she needs to do.
We'll be getting into baby food next.
Well, I think it is typical in business or, when people have changes in their lives, they gravitate to the things that are, current for them, and you'll go through a phase, no doubt, where you're buying things that are relevant to having a tiny person and feeding them, and then a whole new thing will start, won't it? You'll have that on your social media, which is I think for me and for probably a lot of our listeners and for, people who are mums or who have long been mums or who are going to be new mums, it's one of those things where everybody's looking for some new ideas and the ability to be able to look at something and say, Maddie gave that a go last week, and if Maddie can do it, then surely I can do it as well. And, you know, they'd get out there and give it a go, which is one of the good things about, you know, being on a show like MKR is that it is aspirational. As much as there are, you know, elements of it that we want to not have to be conscious of, there's going to be people out there who look at it and say, I can be a mother and daughter business because I've seen Maddie and Jane do it. And that's a really positive thing to take out of it. It's not always the negatives. And it's incredible that you're about to welcome a new family member, someone who will eventually be chopping lemons. When our kids were young, I did a lot of cooking and loved entertaining as well, so I completely understand why the two of you are into it together. Being able to feed people is a really fulfilling thing to do. Jacob used to sit at his little plastic kitchen, and I used to give him mushrooms to chop up and all sorts of things that were reasonably easy. He had his Huey's Kitchen apron. Huey's Kitchen was a big thing then, and he had a little apron that he would wear, and he would get up there and chop and stuff, and he still loves to cook today as well. He's not as motivated as the two of you. So, it's terrific. Thank you so much for coming in today. We appreciate your time. We know how busy life is for the two of you with the events that you put together and all of the beautiful things that you're doing. We will share all of your details on the podcast information, including your Instagram, Jane. So everyone will be able to find you and will be able to see what you're doing and subscribe to beautiful merchandise when it comes out. We're all looking forward to that. I like aprons as well. I don't wear an apron very often these days, but we've got our Aintree Group aprons here as well. So
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And I need to order a shepherd's pie, I think. From the sounds of it.
Yes. I think so.
Yes, because I do like shepherd's pie.
Yes.
Of course, anytime.
Done. Awesome.
Definitely get that organised, Ben.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Us.
Thank you.
It's been a joy. Thank you very much.
Great.